Now, British travellers stranded in South Africa amid the COVID-19 outbreak are gathering at the Cape Town Stadium. And we're going to cross now to our reporter, Craig Murray, who is there, so he can give us a picture of what is happening. Craig, good morning. Please tell us exactly what's happening and what the developments are there at the Cape Town Stadium.
A very good morning. We're actually inside the Cape Town Stadium. We've just been outside. There's quite a queue of travellers from all different countries that are going to be getting flights to get out of South Africa. So lots of people from the US, there's Swiss, a lot of Germans as well. But we're here with the British High Commissioner and Nigel Casey. We'll just get closer, Clinton. Thanks for your time, Nigel. Just from the UK part. Well, what is actually happening today? We can obviously see the buses and there's lots of people outside. Just obviously this has taken a lot of work. What is actually happening today?
Yeah, good morning. Well, I'm delighted to be here in Cape Town where passengers are assembling this morning to go on buses to Cape Town International Airport to catch the first of our special charter flights, which is leaving this morning, Virgin Atlantic operating it to London. So this is the first of 7 flights that we're putting on. As you mentioned, there are a number of other countries running similar charters here today.
Just for the people out there as well, you say 7 flights. I think this started on Friday. It'll probably go till next week, Wednesday. You say 7 flights. 4 will be leaving from Cape Town, 3 from Johannesburg.
That's right. We're starting today in Cape Town. We've got another flight tomorrow in Cape Town, another 2 more from here, and 3 more over the weekend, finishing on Tuesday from Cape Town. By which time we will have taken home over 1,600 passengers to London, and as you say, there are other flights going elsewhere. I just wanted to say, if I may, a big thank you to the South African government, to DIRCO, to the Department of Transport and Home Affairs, and also to the Western Cape government, who have made this operation incredibly smooth and efficient and a pleasant experience for passengers going home in very difficult circumstances.
I suppose all protocol will be acted upon accordingly. Are they sure no one has the virus? Will people be screened? Will there be testings before they get on the flight?
Yeah, so passengers are coming in behind you. They're undergoing a health screening here and filling in a health questionnaire, having a temperature check. Anyone who's got symptoms of COVID-19 won't be allowed to fly because of the risk to other passengers, obviously. But with that assurance, they will be able to fly home to the UK, where we are in a similar lockdown period to you in South Africa. So they'll be going straight home to spend time at home, working from home, being with their families for the period of the lockdown in the UK.
I would imagine this is quite a process. Obviously, a lot of people wanting to get home. Do they all pay for their own flights? Is this all the people who want to get home, or are there people who possibly can't afford the flights? Do you guys subsidize? I'm sure there's been a lot of planning going into this.
This has taken a huge amount of planning. It's an extraordinary operation. We have probably 300,000 Brits around the world in similar circumstances here. The government is underwriting these special charter flights and making sure the prices are capped so they're not unreasonable. But we do ask passengers to make a contribution to ensure that money goes the full way to getting all the Brits that we can get home who can't access commercial flights back to the UK.
I suppose there'll be a whole lot of protocol that will have to be adhered to when they get into the UK as well.
Well, the UK is at a different stage in the progress of COVID-19, so there are a lot more cases in the UK. And so from that perspective, it doesn't make sense to put people in quarantine when they're coming back from South Africa, where there's far lower incidence of the disease, thankfully. So they will be making their own way home, where they will be staying at home like everybody else in the UK, working from home, being with their families, distancing, practicing social distancing for as long as our government asks people to.
Are there any people that are stranded here that financially, or whoever who has come to you guys have been able to get onto a flight, or are there a few cases, or maybe some people who aren't healthy or aren't well, or is everyone that has applied will get onto a flight?
So for these flights, we're prioritising those who have a particular vulnerability to COVID-19. So typically older people, those with a pre-existing medical condition, they've been prioritised for this first flight, and for other flights from South Africa. For those who are genuinely unable to afford the capped fares for these flights, it is possible to obtain a loan, but that's a small minority of cases.
I suppose, Nigel, as well, the invisible enemy as you say, it takes a lot of work. So I suppose it must be quite heartening during a difficult time like this to have all this collaboration, all this cooperation from the South African government, local government with yourselves. It must be quite an operation and quite something to finally get these people home.
It is, and I want to say thank you again to everybody who's tried. I mean, one message I've given everybody here as they are leaving is I hope they'll come back. A lot of people in South Africa rely on jobs in tourism. Britain is the biggest sender of tourists to South Africa, and so I really hope that everyone here, when this is all over, will think about coming back to this fantastic country and enjoying everything it has to offer.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
So that's the British High Commissioner, Nigel Casey. A big operation to get these people home, and obviously, as he said as well, so important. Hopefully that once this pandemic is over, that people will still be coming back to Cape Town, coming back to South Africa. But a huge operation, and obviously a lot of relief for a lot of travellers from the UK and all over the world to finally get flights going back home.
Well, thank you so much. Our reporter Craig Marais out at the Cape Town Stadium and in tracking for us the latest repatriation efforts that several governments across the world are undertaking to get their citizens back home. All right, that concludes our 8 o'clock news bulletin. A final news update will be at 8:30. So still to come in this half hour, Leanne will be talking to One Campaign, a global advocacy initiative aimed at ending extreme poverty. And of course, as we will have the weather, but all of that after the break.